Iron Maiden.
That's
1990. Cool. Would it be 1990? Or would I have been 15? So yeah, probably 1990 or 91. It was December, and Anthrax were supporting.
Shit.
That's your first gig?
It was great. It was great. Anthrax were outstanding. They were amazing.
And what about you, Dali? What was your first gig?
So the first big one was actually like a festival thing. This was in Eastern Europe, so it only opened up and the bands could come. And I don't remember, all the bands, but the big ones were Whitesnake and Status Quo.
Nice.
Yes, mate.
But for us, it was like wow, we could actually see these. The day before was Peter Gabriel, actually. But I went
That's fucking sweet. Where was the show?
Football stadium, actually.
Oh.
It was a football stadium in Bratislava, in the capital.
Oh, right.
But it was literally one of the first gigs by someone from, because like Queen played Budapest, didn't they? Mm-hmm. But before that, it wasn't really happening. They wouldn't let them in. So this was when I was a teenager. One of the very first big ones, and then they kept coming after that. But
how far away did you live from Bratislava?
I'm from Bratislava.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I literally walked to see that gig. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Cool. I thought for some reason I thought you weren't near Bratislava, but you.
No. I'm from that city. Yes.
So where? What year was that? Was that like
I'm struggling
after?
I'm struggling to remember. Yeah, it must have been soon after. Well, the revolution was in 1989, but then I was only like 12, so this was probably 1992, 1991, something like that. So I must have been maybe 15, 16, something like that. I mean, here we go again. Do you know what I mean? Here I go again. Do Iron Maiden have Here I Go Again? No, they don't.
That is true. But then I think there could be a counter to that.
Yeah.
It's a very weak counter.
It is.
That's a strong song.
I do believe the lyrics are Here I Go Again on my own.
Uh-huh.
I'm not reading too much into this, but if you're on your own,
then you're going for it again.
It's true. What was the other band? It was Whitesnake and
Status Quo. Do you know? I just remembered. Whitesnake. The guitarist went into this solo. Like everyone else left the stage, and the guitarist stood there in the spotlight.
He was on his own.
Going for I don't know what he was going to do. On his own, like when you have a drum solo, but this was a guitar solo, right? And the problem is his wireless thingy stopped working. So
Spinal Tap.
So he was just like doing something. All we had was like a few notes. And that was the whole solo, and that was it. And then the band came back, and they carried on. They fixed the wireless guitar, but not for his solo. So we didn't have any of that. It was actually really embarrassing. Actually, it could have been the power in the stadium, though, because
that sounds like classic Spinal Tap. What was that?
It was actually really like Spinal Tap. It was really bad.
Who was it?
I'll look it up, maybe.
I'm going to try and be the Google extraordinaire. So we had Whitesnake and Status Quo, right?
Yeah, and please. Peter Gabriel. The day before.
Peter Gabriel the day before.
The stadium was SKP. It's like a football club that belonged to the police. That's what it stands for.
That belonged to the police.
94. It's possible, actually. Yeah, it could. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, I think it was, mate. It was.
Oh, so it was a bit later than I see.
June the 26th, 1994. Status
it's possible,
Quo,
yeah,
Whitesnake, Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Good times.
So I've got their set list from the day just to bring back some memories for you. Let's all have a guess. What was the first song that it's actually Status Quo, so you should be able to know this one. I've got Status Quo set list from June the 26th, 1994. What do you think they came on with, guys?
Down, down, deeper and down.
Roland, what's your first take?
I would personally go for what Prit's just said. That would be
Can I ask? Is that the only song that you might know? Because I have to admit, that's the only one I know.
No, it was not In the Army Now, because the In the Army Now, they played it later, I think. But
track 10 was In the Army Now.
Yeah, that was their single, wasn't it? I mean, like, they shouldn't play that at all, you know.
Have they ever been in the army? Have they any history of being in the army?
They are in the army now.
Yeah. Whoa, they weren't in the army before.
Did you just tell us what their first track was? Or are we still guessing?
Caroline.
Oh, of course it was.
Oh, was it Caroline? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so they did Caroline, Hold You Back, one-man band. Then they did a big medley. Then they did Roll Over, Lay Down, Whatever You Want, In the Army Now, Rockin' All Over the World, Don't Waste My Time, Roadhouse Blues, the Doors cover. And then they came back on to another medley, No Particular Place to Go, Where You're Knocking, Lucille, Great Balls of Fire. And then they went into rock and roll music. Rock and roll music.
Well, that's essentially 15 of the same songs.
Yeah, of course, but that's them, isn't it?
And then I can guess. Can we guess at Whitesnake? Have you got Whitesnake's list there?
Yeah, I think I can find it.
I only know one.
Yes, I have it. Yeah.
Can I?
Fall for Your Loving. Fall for Your Loving.
Hold on. What are you saying, Roland?
Fall for Your Loving was opener.
Okay. I'm going for In the Heat of the Night.
Okay, so both of those songs were played, but neither of them were first.
Oh.
Roland, sorry, not Roland. I was looking at Roland and I was thinking of Dali. So, Dali, how good is your memory of the first ever show that you went to?
It's really, really not very good, to be honest.
So you'll probably tell me then, you're probably thinking, they played Bad Boys first. I think that's probably what you're thinking. And that is what they played.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Exactly. So there we go.
We can edit that in. Just say it now and then I'll edit it. So you said it. What was that?
What was their first song, Darby?
Brave
Boys.
Boyzone.
Brave Boys.
Boyzone something.
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys, of course, yeah.
Actually, one of my proudest moments was with Johnny, our good friend Johnny, and he and I. We played a show in the King's Head in Crouch End. It was an Iron King show, just the two of us when the band had whittled down to just two of us. And then at half time, it was quite a quaint little pub, and they'd done they just done a pub quiz halfway through, and we kind of joined in for the half of it, and it was kind of music oriented quiz, and we were kind of we thought we were doing okay, and then they were like, okay, and now for the special audio round, and this week's audio round is cock rock solos, and me and Johnny were literally like, yes, we got this, and they ended up just playing like a snapshot of about 15 seconds of cock rock solos, and they'd done a succession of 10 of them, and we literally got 10 out of 10, and they were astounded. They were like, and we won just because of that round. I think we won the opportunity to do our second set because they were going to kick us out of the pub because we were so awful.
More than likely.
But that was a proud moment. But it's very interesting. I never really got into glam rock, kind of cock rock kind of stuff, but it was kind of there in the background, wasn't it? Everyone kind of knows, the odd Whitesnake track, and
I think it's one of my favorite, like 70s glam rock. Are we talking?
No, I'm talking about that 80s kind of like cock rock, kind of hair, rock. Poodle hair kind of rock stuff.
The Tommy Lee.
Motley Crue business.
Motley Crue kind of thing.
Yeah. I was never into that.
Scorpions, Europe,
Yeah,
Bon Jovi.
Europe.
Right, yeah.
Well, Bon Jovi, though, that's my Achilles heel. I fucking love Bon Jovi.
Roland, you know, like, pictures say 1,000 words, or faces might tell us 3,000. So, do you like Bon Jovi?
No.
That dude, man.
Sorry. But, it's each to their own,
What's your come on, tell us. You must like something that's mainstream that you don't want to tell us about, but you have to now because of peer pressure. It's either you tell us what band you like or take heroin right now. By the way, if anyone's got any
where's the
heroin, I'll
heroin,
take it.
to be honest?
Yeah. That was a bad. I was trying to talk about peer pressure, but
Yeah, peer pressure. What's mainstream? There's probably lots of stuff.
Don't worry, just tell us
mainstream.
about the band you're most embarrassed to tell us about. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, that's the question.
Guilty pleasure, you mean?
Yeah.
Other than the Spice Girls.
Shit. Do you know what? There aren't any guilty pleasures. What would other people think? What would they be kind of, you like that band? There's so...
Do you
I've
like
stumped
ABBA?
myself here. Do I like ABBA?
Yes.
I can appreciate the songwriting. I don't really make an effort to look them up and listen to them. They're not on my iTunes or anything like that. I've been to the ABBA Museum.
Okay.
It's
coming out now.
It was great.
Yes, here we go.
But
So you do like ABBA?
yeah, I like them. I can't say that I'm a fan. But
then what is the fucking problem with Bon Jovi? That's all I'm saying.
I think
fury,
it's probably.
Roland.
I think it's probably John Bon Jovi.
He's the best bit. He's so good. The band's named after him. Bad Medicine.
But
have you ever heard the song Bad Medicine? It's got a verse that's so fucking poor that it should have been shot in the paddocks. But the pre-chorus and the chorus are so good. It's like the best thing ever. Which goes to show you how good the fucking chorus and pre-chorus are. Because the verse
I'll tell you what, right? If you think that Bad Medicine is what you need, wait until they rush out one of these Pfizer kind of coronavirus vaccines.
I like it.
There we go.
You see whether that Bad Medicine is really what you need.
He's got into politics straight away.
He's hopped straight on that segue and leaned forward like a motherfucker.
Straight into pharmaceutical industries. I saw what he done there. He's a fucking master.
Oh, there he goes, just like Roland's grabber.
So Prit, because you are such a huge fan of Bon Jovi, I've got a quiz question for you.
Okay, go on, hit me.
Who recorded the guitar for John Bon Jovi's solo song "Blaze of Glory"?
Which is
Down in the blaze of glory.
It's not bad.
Who's the guitarist on it?
Slash, obviously.
No.
I just made that up. I've got no fucking idea.
It was Roland, wasn't it?
Anyone?
Is it someone so famous that I could guess?
Steve Vai.
For me, it's the the best living guitarist actually. Yes, he has a huge name. Yes. You would probably, if you heard the solo, you would probably recognize. You would probably know who that is because it's a slightly different way of playing than
he
people
kind of
normally
is
do.
quite strummy and open, isn't it?
Oh no, but the solo mainly. The solo would tell you the solo.
Are you trying to double
slide
bluff
solo, isn't it?
There is a solo.
It's a slide solo.
Is it Richie Sambora?
No, it isn't Richie Sambora. No. Shall I tell you then?
Is it? It's not Ry Cooder,
hold on. Give me a clue.
Don't.
No,
okay,
best living guitarist.
Excessive use of the whammy bar.
Steve
As
Vai.
always.
Steve Vai. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
No, English.
English guy, excessive
Eric
use of the
Townsend.
No, but you're getting close.
Pete Townsend.
No.
I mean, because like I would
Jeff
have,
Beck.
like, I just
Yes.
went down a rabbit.
Really?
Jeff Beck.
Yes,
Is it
yes,
Jeff
yes,
Beck
Jeff
solo?
Beck it is.
Shit, I fucking knew Roland was a big... He's a closet fan. He's
I
a
know, I
closet
You,
learned
fan.
it.
Roland, to come round. We
I
just
learned-
didn't say.
I-
I
I'm a
learned
Jeff
that
Beck
solo
fan.
when I was a teenager. Actually, learned how to play it when I was very young. Actually,
You probably came home from that White Snake gig and you were like, I need to learn the guitar. And then that's it.
yeah, but this was Bon Jovi. You were not listening to me, but whatever.
No, but you came home from the White Snake show and you thought, I need to learn the guitar, and that's when you learnt Bon Jovi.
By the time I saw Whitesnake, I was better than them, man.
How?
Holy shit!
So when did you start playing? At the age of 2?
And I don't know, 6. I think 6 or 7.
And why did you start playing? It was in.
No,
it
my
was
dad.
your-
My dad played
Yeah.
guitar. Yeah, so he taught me how to play the songs by the Shadows, actually. Which now I realize it's quite difficult. Like both the rhythm parts and the solo parts are just clean sounds and really difficult to get it right. I didn't know when I was 7 or 8, so I just played that. But yeah, I'm glad he did.
Bit of Del Shannon. Is it Del Shannon, the Shadows?
No.
Del, you
What's his
know,
name?
Del,
No, hang on.
Del Boy Shannon,
Del Boy Shannon. No, so what was the guy's name?
Hank Williams.
Hank
No,
Williams.
No,
not
Hank-
Williams.
Hank
Hank
Marvin.
Williams.
Marvin.
Hank Marvin.
Marvin.
Sorry,
And
Hank Marvin.
but
I
what
cou-
about his
yeah,
mate?
what's the
Who's
other guitar
Del
player's
Shannon
name?
from? Who's Del Shannon from?
His mate Del.
He used to turn up
He
to
went on
gigs in his
to
three-wheeler,
make
but-
a multi-million, start a multi-million computer company.
No, Del Shannon. He's a person, but is right.
Go on,
Google
Google
that.
it.
Fuck yeah now.
Del Shannon.
But yeah, I did
American
bump
musician.
I did bump into the rhythm guitarist of the Shadows actually once in Richmond, and I had a chat with him, which was like a very special moment actually. That's now maybe 9 years ago, something like that.
And what did you? So you recognized him, and then kind of just.
I did recognize him. He was just walking his dog, and then I said, it was actually quite funny because I said, "Oh, sir, excuse me, maybe I'm wrong, but you used to be in a really famous band." And he looked at me like like a sort of this kind of a teacher look, and he said, "I am in a very famous band."
Oh,
So I said, "Oh, so you
Nice.
guys still play?" I didn't know. Sorry, they were still probably playing at the time. I don't know. And then we had a chat about guitars, and he said, "What kind of a guitar do you play?" And at that time, I played a Stratocaster. So I said, "I play a Stratocaster," and he said, "Another one." So yeah, we had a good chat about guitars and guitar colors and stuff like that. It was quite funny.
that's super cute.
Can I just interject with Del Shannon, the song, and the reason I know him is because I used to play one of his songs. My little runaway, run, 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 run away. Do you remember that?
When I don't
Didn't sing
remember
it,
you
did you?
playing that. Why did you?
Well,
I do
because
remember the song.
When I was 12, I was in a band with a guy called Neil Roop. Shout out to Neil Roop if he's
All right, Neil.
there in the ether. Who still is like proper rockabilly. He actually plays double slap bass now. But
Yeah.
him and I were in a 2-piece, and we used to play like Buddy Holly songs and Del Shannon and a little bit of the Shadows as well. But yeah, that was one of the songs that we played. You've probably not seen that footage of our band, Silver Fox. Oh yeah! Oh
What?
yeah!
Now we need to see the footage.
Yeah, I'll find. There's some footage that my mother's got on some VHS somewhere, I'd imagine. But yeah, so that was my first band that I was in, and then I was in a band with Anthony, who Prit knows, but you both don't. Who were basically a Radiohead band from 1997.
That was your favourite band, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to rate it of 1 to 10 of my favourite bands I've been in, I would say Spirited was the one.
Spirited.
And Teen Spirit, we were at one. Yeah, we renamed. Aquarian was the first name of the band.
Better.
That's a good
for no
name.
Good reason. Yeah, we did all right.
What about you guys? What were your first bands called then?
I had a fucking cool band. My band was called Solemn Promise.
Solemn Promise, I forgot
and
that
it was
one.
named by Stephen Cordin. Shout out to Stephen. And he came up with Solemn Promise, and we were quite clearly a heavy metal band, you know. So
Wow.
we were kind of like we were 13, and he used to come in with his little amp that he got given, and I can't remember which guitar he had. He had like a really strange, I think it was like a Les Paul copy, and he could play Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. And I remember thinking, that's fucking cool. And this little amp had distortion, and I was thinking, this is the coolest thing ever. And then I forced my mum to buy me a guitar, and she refused to buy me a guitar at first. She was like, it's going to be a fad. You're not going to be into it. And then
she'd left it there, if I'm honest.
She should have shot it in the paddocks, but she didn't. She made me borrow my cousin's acoustic guitar, and I ended up learning to play on that. And then I ended up with this guitar over the Christmas holidays when I just decided I was going to do it. So I had these kind of like 2-3 weeks or whatever Christmas holidays are of just literally being obsessive and being on this guitar when I was 13. And just independently, my cousin Sook, who went off to university at that time, was quite a bit older than me. He'd picked up the guitar for the first time as well, but he'd been hanging out with a flatmate who was a guitarist, and he'd taught me Dire Straits' Money for Nothing. So by the time I went back into school, I could play Deep Purple and Money for Nothing, and therefore leapfrogged and became the best guitarist in literally in the form.
I mean, if we cast our mind back to previous podcasts, Roland, you were at the same school. What the fuck were you doing at this point?
Roland was fucking lifting 30 stone weights, mate. He was down the gym, fucking giving it that.
You were beating up kids.
I
like
was
Prit,
actually, yeah.
You were eating them for breakfast.
What were you doing, Roland? At 13.
Do you know what? You know, when it comes to the grand questions of what were you doing with your life at that age, I really couldn't even begin to answer that question. I have no idea. Well, just utterly just wasting my existence. Totally.
But were you playing guitar at 13?
Some people would say I was. Not many.
But you had a guitar and you could strum at 13. I don't know where I'm going with this, but
I mean, I had classical guitar lessons when I was sort of 9 years old.
What went wrong?
And they were what went wrong? Actually, do you know what? They were the dullest fucking thing I've ever experienced. It was terrible. It was really.
Was that because you didn't want to learn classical guitar though, or because the teacher was uninspiring?
Partly that as well. I think it was those two things in tandem. It was just it wasn't. There was no. I couldn't connect it with something that was fun. And something that was interesting and something that I wanted to learn. I remembered some things when I sort of discovered music for myself a little bit.
What was your first band though? Where did you go from there? What was the experience that made you think rock and roll is way more interesting than Spanish guitar? How did that transition happen?
Well, it's not that, actually Spanish guitar, flamenco is very interesting. Yeah. But they weren't trying to teach me flamenco. They were kind of, you have to play a note here and read it on that bit of paper there, and then you have to go through these kind of counting exercises, and it was really slow. And the thing is that when you're a kid and you want to learn how to play guitar, you want to learn how to do all the fun stuff. You don't want to learn how to do all the boring stuff that's kind of musical and probably useful. But you might learn it if you can kind of get your sort of feet off the ground and maybe just learn to play something that's interesting and fun.
So you went home and learned. So you went home and learned the solo on Jump.
Yeah.
When you were 14.
That was the thing. You know, I Van Halen were kind of a trendy band, I think, when in 1989 they were still like kind of, they'd had like a number one single, they'd had all of that stuff. So I didn't really bother even listening to Van Halen at all until quite some time later. I got into Black Sabbath. That was the thing. I got really into Black Sabbath, and you know what? It was sort of, I guess, pretty kind of, you could kind of hum along with the melodies, if you like. You could grasp what was going on. So it was quite easy to sort of learn how to play some of that stuff in a way. You know, I don't mean any disrespect to Tony Iommi and what he plays, what his musicianship at all, because it's you know, what he does is quite unique, and I don't think anybody can really nobody can be Tony. Nobody can really emulate him that well. But you know, it was something that captured my imagination, and that was the thing for me. That was the thing. Van Halen I didn't get into until I was kind of forced to listen to it by a guy I know who plays in a band called Stinking Lizaveta. And we were in a van going through Europe, and it was Yanni's day with his iPod putting on Van Halen, and they were it was just outstanding. You kind of
mind blown.
Yeah.
They actually like,
and that's the thing. It's funny that you just kind of put a band to one side because you're like, oh yeah, everyone likes them, so that's cool. So I'm not going to listen to that because that's like,
all the
you know,
secrets
it's
are
just
coming out
sometimes
now.
you need somebody to kind of like almost sort of waterboard you with music, and then you kind of get it. And you know, and that's kind of what happened.
Well, we'll work on Bon Jovi.
Sorry.
Yeah. We need to play in Bon Jovi, and we also need to think about like how we socially condition the world into listening to the Flower of Zeus debut album.
Yes.
Play it really loud to people who can't leave.
Yeah. We've kind of got a worldwide audience of people that can't really leave their homes. But
if we can
they
find
turn
a
things
way
off,
of
though.
making them switching their computers on and streaming to them, like compulsory streaming, that'll probably be the route to go.
or we kind of need to do what U2 did with Apple and just put their album on every single... It was kind of genius. How the fuck did they get that signed off? Like, who at Apple went, yeah, that's a good idea. You know, it is brilliant. It is brilliant.
Shouldn't we? Good. I mean, this is, you know, it's not a fun topic at all. But what if we included a free album with every
Daily Mail?
No, every dose of the new vaccine.
Oh shit!
Because it will go to a lot of people.
That's a fucking brilliant idea. And what if we can inject it into people's veins the same as the vaccine? That would be fucking amazing. If we had the technology to inject an album into people.
Is it not going to stop it from working then? The vaccine.
What, as in Flower of Zeus stops the vaccine from working? Oh shit, we found it. It's the brown note. The brown note for the vaccine.
I think that's not a bad idea. Maybe we can. I mean, we spend so much money on shit promoting ourselves. Maybe we just buy a load of corona vaccine and then just give a free album.
Give it out for free. We should do that, yeah.
Okay.
Or a free vaccine with the album. That would be better.
There's going to be a band out there right now called The Side Effects, and they're going to go, that's what we're doing.
That's our angle.
I like the name of that band. One of my favourite band names of all time is a band that I played with in 99 or something like that. And we were on the same bill as them. And I looked at the poster when we walked in, I was like, fuck, that's amazing. They were called Sick on the Bus. I've always loved that name. I've always loved that. It's a great name for a band.
Yeah, they're a punk band.
Were they? Did you know
They
them?
were.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, I think I might have one of their records knocking about somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I played with them at the Norwich Oval, which was like a... Actually, Iron Maiden played there. Iron Maiden played there under the I don't know what you call it, not pseudonym. What do you call it when they play under a fake name?
Yeah.
Called the Nodding Donkeys. That's what they called themselves. Iron Maiden played Norwich fucking Oval, which is about 150 capacity. Yeah, they played there because they knew the Oval owner, but it was a proper cock rock venue. That was.
You know, I played with a guy who auditioned for Iron Maiden a very long time ago, but he didn't like them. He said he just gave it a go. But he
Is
didn't
that what
really
he said? He
like
was like, nah, I didn't like them. Fuck it, I didn't want the job.
No, but he literally didn't learn. He just didn't learn any of the songs. But he was an amazing guitarist who I think he ended up in the final of this competition in Allscourt called the Guitarist of the Year or something. Maybe you guys know about it. Twice he ended up in the final. Shredder, metal guy. He was in a band called Metal Mirror, which actually they got played on European radio stations. But yeah, he auditioned for Iron Maiden, and he said it was quite a fun experience. There was a massive queue somewhere. I don't know where it was. Massive queue of guitarists waiting to try it with to give it a go. But I don't know why that is. When it was, probably must have been very early on.
I auditioned
It could have been.
for a
It could have
band.
been when Yannick joined, though. That's the thing. When Yannick
Maybe,
Gers
yeah.
joined, I think they did do massive auditions. So to have a lot of people at an audition, you have to be pretty big. And that band had the same lineup for years. So that's the only time there's been a sort of lineup change with a guitar player.
Yeah.
I auditioned for a band called the Ordinary Boys. Do you remember them?
Oh God!
Oh,
I
did you?
fucking love them.
That guy Preston, yeah.
Why? I remember that. I remember you telling me this story.
Mm.
When was that? That was pre Cheap Hotel.
I don't know. I think
It was
might
probably
have been
during, wasn't it?
No, post or just a post, I think. I was like, well, fuck it. I think Hugh set that up. And I was like, yeah, I'll go along to it. I actually quite liked the Ordinary Boys, but I didn't like him, like, once he became whatever that show was, when he, that TV show.
He was on Big Brother,
Big
wasn't
Brother.
That's what it's called. Yeah. That's when I thought, oh, you were a bit of a prick. But I thought they had some pretty cool songs, actually. I thought they were a pretty good live band. It would have been fun for a couple of months, probably, and then it would have been terrible. But, that was funny. The Ordinary Boys.
And my mate drummer, an amazing drummer, he auditioned for Jamiroquai, and and he said that J.K. liked him, but the keyboard player didn't.
The keyboard player, yeah. He was the musical director, wasn't he?
I don't know. actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I think I've
a
heard
friend of mine played sax for Jamiroquai on tour, and it was the keyboard player was a bellend, apparently. Reach out to Jamiroquai's keyboard player if you got any work. Love to do it.
I think he's passed away, actually.
Has he? Oh,
Yeah, I think he passed away a couple of years ago.
did he? Oh.
Yeah. Awkward.
Well, shout out to you anyway, mate, wherever you are.
Yeah, good luck. God bless.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's funny. So the Jamiroquai had a bell end off. It could have been either the keyboardist or JK and JK comes out good. That's fucking amazing, isn't it?
JK's probably like, oh, we need to hire someone in the band that's a bigger bellend than me. And the manager's like, oh, that's going to be really tough.
I actually know someone.
It's going to be really tough, but we might know someone, yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
What happened? He just stopped playing, right? I mean, thank God, but he stopped playing.
No, apparently he didn't. Like, apparently they still do stuff. It's just that their audience kind of got containerized.
That's
I think they literally just play like at Grand Prix and like to a bunch of kind of middle-aged bald men in Ferrari t-shirts. Like, it's just that there's literally a very niche, weird audience for them.
But I mean, he made all of his money because he did the same thing as that Darkness guy, where he signed himself for publishing and signed himself for the record deal, didn't he?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Smart move. If you're selling records, that's a smart move.
Yeah.
But, you know, to be in a position to sell records, that's a different game.
Yeah. I mean, and he may be a bellend, but he sold a lot of records, I guess.
He did.
That's how you rate your people.
And you're not a bellend, and how many records have you sold?
Are you looking at you're looking at Roland, aren't you?
I'm looking at all of you. None of you are bellends, and none of you are devoid of selling records. I'm the only exemption from that because I'm a bellend.
You've sold a lot of records, Prit. You sold album.
Well, technically, I got asked to leave, so I think they don't technically allow me to be involved in that.
Is that what the lawyers are telling you in your earpiece there?
Someone fucking Jason Bourned me off a fucking record. So I'm not officially down on anything, so
yeah.
That's just the way it goes.
I mean, technically I've played drums on a #1 single.
Yeah.
That is technically...
Do they know it's Christmas? Live Aid.
No, it was Dappy in N-dubs.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
N-dub.
on my drums were used on their #1. If they
Amazing.
had a #1. I'm going to have to Google that now. I'm going to have to fact check my fact. N-dubs.
Don't bother. Let's just accept that happened. And congratulate you. That's fucking amazing.
#1. Yeah. Well, they had a #1 with Tinchy Strider anyway.
Tinchy Strider.
Where did everyone go?
I'm still here.
Are you back?
Yeah.
You went. The connection dropped or something. I don't know what happened there.
Maybe it was either Gregg or it's probably Gregg sucking all the juice out of the internet. As soon as he typed in Dappy, Dappy's still
probably
sucking
that's
a lot of
what it is.
bandwidth out of the internet.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened. Oh, let's pull that back to I played on an N-dubs record. Yeah, let's pull that back.
Which would have definitely charted.
It charted. Yeah. So I've been in a charted song. Great.
Yes, mate. That's a big deal. Congrats.
It's one of my proudest moments, and let's not forget that's the reason why Roland joined Flower of Zeus. So
was it the N-dubs thing? Is that what
it was the
you?
N-dubs connection, and I remember
totally.
I remember that moment fondly actually, because Roland was like, "Why should I join the band?" And I was like, "Shit, should I pull out the N-dubs sales pitch?"
Do I need to pull up my Wikipedia? That's what I remember you saying.
And there I go. Pulled it out, and Roland was like, "No
N-dubs?
fucking way. Where do I sign?
I'm in.
What do I need to do to be a part of this?" And I mean, the rest they say is history. I quite like to play a live show though, secretly.
I don't know. It's not going to happen for a while, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm really excited that a live show is going to happen next summer.
Who's taking the vaccine straight away, or who's waiting until other people?
Well, I think we've got to wait until people that are a little bit more vulnerable than us might need it first. But I'm willing to kick them in the nuts and fucking have one in the arm.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's supposed to be two versions of the vaccine. There's two coming. One 90%, the one we've all heard about, and the other one which I don't know what the stats are on that. It's a weird thing. With American medicine. Has anyone ever seen anybody taking American medicine? It always, when something's developed in America, quite often there's a thing that, there are things that they will give people in America that over here, just I don't think they would fly.
I've got one experience of taking medicine when I was in America, and that was when it was in my 20s, and we went to New York. And then the day that I woke up and the day we were flying back, we had an evening flight from JFK, like a 9 p.m. flight. And when you wake up in the morning and you just I just knew I had the flu. And I was just like, fuck.
You were patient number one.
This is a long time ago, so I think this is pre-corona. I think corona's been around in various different strains.
Pre-corona.
But like, I just knew I'd woken up and I had the flu, and it was just like, I'm in New York. I just want my mum, and I want to be in my bed, and I'm in fucking New York, and I got a nighttime flight. And so we got kicked out of our hotel about 11, and I just managed to scratch around for the day and just think, I think I can make it to the plane. And then it got to about 4 p.m. and it just got so intolerable that I ended up going to a pharmacist. I kind of explained what happened, and they just chucked something over the counter, and I took these pills. And it was just like, don't take more than 2 of these every 6 hours or whatever. I was like, cool. And I took these just before I got on the plane. And I was dandy. I was absolutely fine. I was just like, I probably haven't felt that good in my life. And I don't know what they were. But we ended up on this flight. It was all quite stressy, hissy and pissy. And I was super smooth and cool all the way back home to London.
Can I ask whether the pills were were they really big and you had to break them up, and they were like gold and like a shaped like a star?
No. They were just blue and round and had Mitsubishi signs on the top of it. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Just wondering if it'd be the same thing.
But I was absolutely fine. And then like when we got back, we got into a black cab. There was about 3 or 4 of us, and then my mate Sreej was going off to work, and he decided he was gonna take the cab all the way to Harrow. But by the time we got to like from Heathrow to Hayes, which isn't that far, as Roland knows, like it was literally, we'd racked up. It was peak time traffic. We'd racked up like 40 quid, and we were kind of going, Street, are you fucking crazy? You're going to go all the way to Harrow at this time of the day, and it's going to be like over 100 quid cab ride. And he was like, yeah, fair enough, I'll jump out and get the 140. And then I was like, cool. And so the last drop this cab driver had to do was down my road. I was like, just drop me off. And he had an expectation, he had an understanding that he was going to dot around and drop a bunch of people off and then do this massive fare to Harrow. And then by the time he got to the bottom of my road, he's like, all right, what are you doing here? And then you're going to go to Harrow. And I was like, no, we've changed our plans. I'm just getting out here. And this guy went apeshit because obviously he'd lost this big fare that he was expecting. And he starts screaming at me while I'm getting my suitcase out of the taxi. And I have never behaved like this in my life. But I just went fucking mental. And this guy was trying to drive his cab off down the street. I've got 2 suitcases on my hand. I was trying to kick his back lights in. And like as he's running and down my street. And I think it was all that pharmaceutical nosh that I taken. And then I just remember just like coming to at the bottom of the road, like, and I felt like I was foaming from my mouth. And then, the neighbors were outside just kind of like doing the lawn, just looking at me like, and I was like, all right. And, but I remember thinking, I feel like I'm on drugs, and I'm pretty sure it was just the American pharmaceuticals.
I think their flu kind of remedy thing, I'm pretty sure it's like some sort of amphetamine.
Oh, okay. I would suggest by my behavior, it was.
Yeah.
It was an opioid-based behavior.
I mean, I don't want to get into drug talk, but I took amphetamines once and I drove from Glasgow to Southampton. It was a really
That's the
easy
story.
drive. It was such an easy drive. That was in. How many years ago does it need to be so that I can't get in trouble?
15?
Over 10? Yeah. It was about over 10 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, it was actually about 15 years ago, so that's fine. Yeah, that's when Cheap Hotel were on tour.
Well, it wasn't long ago that was perfectly okay.
Well, I think it was longer than that, but it's fine because I can't even prove that I did that. I think that gets me out of it, so that's fine. It's the old roadie from the Pigeon Detectives helping me along.
And not that we're going to do drug stories, and certainly Dali won't be able to join in with the drug stories because he's got a real dependable job. So don't tell us your drug stories, Dali, because we know you haven't
We can
got
always edit this afterwards.
There are none.
Why are you gurning when you say none?
any. Yeah, why did you disappear for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Drugs.
Wipe that off your nose. You've got a little bit of...
That's surely milk.
Yeah,
He's been out the milk.
again.
Snorting milk straight out of a pregnant mother's
You
bosom.
and those bloody cow udders. So, yeah. I mean, is it right time to talk about the weekend now? Or?
I think so. Let's have a wrap up. What are you doing this weekend, Dali?
I have no idea. Probably nothing. The weather is going to be quite bad, probably.
You sent us some nice pictures on half term. Where did you guys go?
Did I?
Yeah, there was one. You were in front of a windmill, which was very surprising.
It was a windmill. We went to the windmill.
Is that in Amsterdam?
It's the South Downs National Park. That's where it is. It's
Nice.
it's got this famous tunnel made of trees, which photographers go to take pictures of all the time. If you Google the tunnel, is really wicked. It's like an Asian road. There's loads of these, Asian roads up and down the country, and so it goes kind of lower, and so the trees grow around it. It's fantastic. It's especially in autumn. It's magical actually.
I do like autumn for like getting out walks. It's the best time to go walking, isn't it?
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, darling.
Hi, Jam.
Everyone's saying hi. Yeah, we've been jammed. Jam's kind of crept in here.
Hey,
pretending
Jam.
like
Hi, Jam.
We can't.
Get her in on the action.
No, she's not allowed. We will do a special one day with Jam, I'm
Say
sure.
happy Diwali to Jam.
Everyone's saying happy Diwali. She's sending it back. Greg's pretty pissed off because all the brown people are shooting fireworks up and waking his fucking kids up. He wants you to have a word.
It's true, yeah.
I've lost that thing.
Shush, please. I'm just trying to do a podcast. I think it's probably a good time to kind of wrap it up, right? Does anyone want to say do any closing shots?
Sure.
Has anyone got a nice message for the world in these troubled times?
Not really.
Not quite.
It's been lovely seeing you all.